Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We have Nader Manua, Craig Burley and Stevie Nicol here with you. Stevie actually featured heavily on yesterday's show. Well, your hairline did.
Very flattering, wasn't
it? Well, one of the questions was which was worse, Dan's glasses or Stevie's famous hairstyle?
What, you can't... for a start, I look as though my head's been dipped in a bucket of boiling water, and then look at the state of the haircut.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan looks like Clark Kent compared to me.
Anyway, more on Dan later. Let's get to some of the questions, shall we?
No, listen, that hair. I used to have a number. Now and again, years ago, I used to have a number 2, which is not. I couldn't go to a number 1, right? Every now and again, I'd have a number 2 just for laziness. Back then, I could get away with it, but having seen that photo at the time, it's a grave worry to me that that's how the top of my head would look now if I had a number 2. In fact, I've got a guy, there's a guy in Nottingham where I used to live, and my mates were telling me he once shaved his head pretty similar, and it never ever grew back. So Stevie's just lucky it grew back.
You are lucky.
You're no kidding.
Just quickly, can you just remind us how that happened?
I think I asked the guy for I thought I was being clever, and asked the guy for a 3 and a 5. And the guy turned around to me and said, "Oh, you're going for the summer cut?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going for the summer cut." But then unfortunately, by the time, and I had to take my glasses off while he was cutting my hair, so I couldn't actually see what he was doing to begin with. But then even through my goggle eyes without any glasses on, I'm thinking, wow, that looks a bit tight. And then I put my glasses on and the guy went, "Everything okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine, all right." So it's too late.
How much does it cost to get your head cut like a tomato? Hey, by the way.
It looks like a skinned tomato.
We've got a saying. Do you know how Dan looks there in that still? We've got a saying in Scotland for a look like that. It's called glaikit.
Glaikit.
What's the look?
Not great. It's not a good thing.
A glaikit look means it looks as if there's absolutely nothing inside that head of his. It's empty.
Yeah, it's not a good thing to be called.
Listen, Dan got roasted yesterday. I think we should leave him alone tonight, at least for now anyway. All right, let's start with your questions. Craig, I'm going to come to you first. Liverpool fan here, but my question is about Burnley. We shouldn't always talk about the top half. Were they right to sack Sean Dyche? Who would they appoint if it was up to them? Is Big Sam the default?
Do you know, the answer is I don't think they were right to sack Sean Dyche, but there's new ownership there, and unfortunately that comes with a little bit more of the unknown. Don't forget Dyche has been relegated before with Burnley and actually came back stronger, and we're in the Europa League. So I think it's an unfortunate scenario of A, new ownership, and B, the money in the Premier League. But yeah, and maybe for Sean Dyche and Ian Woan and Tony Loughlin, the coaches there, been there a long time. Maybe they need a fresh change as well, because let's not forget the job he's done there over the years. Okay, people might not agree or like the football, but the job that Dyche has done at Burnley has been very, very good. But new ownership, new ideas.
Nader, next one for you. Is this the best City defence of the Guardiola era? The back four is arguably better than Liverpool's.
Do you know what? I'm seeing the pros and cons of both. I really am, but I think this City back four is pretty. I love it when they're at their best. They are very, very special. I think, you know, the balance of, say, Kyle Walker defensively on that side, the flair of Cancelo on the other side, and then the two centre backs, whoever they may be, how solid they can be and stuff like that. I think it is great. But then, you know, with Liverpool, like, they have Virgil van Dijk, as well as, you know, Andy Robertson, who's obviously very good. Trent, who's good. Matip, who does his part. But they have Virgil van Dijk, who for me might be the best defender in the world right now. So, yeah, I think it's probably City's best defence for a very long time, maybe ever in total. But the fact is, Liverpool's isn't too bad either, to be honest with you.
Next one. We criticise United, Stevie, for not having a good coach for years now and for lacking identity. For all the criticism Atleti get, wouldn't a club like United love to have an identity and a coach that fits like Atleti's does?
Oof. Oof.
Well, it's one thing to have an identity, but do you want your team to have an identity that the rest of the world can't stand? Is that what you want?
Maybe.
And you can't have that if you're Manchester United.
Maybe.
If you're Burnley, you can have that, or any of those teams. But if you're Manchester United and you're brought up on incredible players, incredible attacking players, winning trophies, winning the
Atleti just won La Liga.
Winning the biggest. Well, that says more about La Liga, does it not? That a team like that wins it. That's not good. Do you think that's good for La Liga? That a team of vagabonds and rogues and defend at all costs wins. Yeah, it wins La Liga. That's good for La Liga.
Felix.
Is that good for La Liga?
Antoine Griezmann.
Well, João Felix, by the way, hasn't been playing up until about 3 or 4 months ago. So the guy's never got a game regularly since he got there. Is that and they won La Liga? Is that good for La Liga? So no. If you want an identity, at least make it a good one.
Craig? I wouldn't have him anywhere near the place, whatever it was. If it was Liverpool, City, United, Chelsea, any of those top teams, if he was coming to my club, if I was a fan, I'd be running for the hills. Because, yeah, there is a semblance of success that they have along the way, but most of the time, you can't have success. You don't win every season. And when you're not winning, it's not fun. And when you're not winning and you're not having that fun, you get your fun through the football. And okay, you might be disappointed at the end if somebody pips you, but you've enjoyed going to the games. What do they enjoy when they're having an unsuccessful season like this one, for example, where they've struggled to get into the top 4 until the last few weeks? Is that real fun for Atleti fans? Is that what, do they really like that when they were singing and chanting at the end of that game because Simeone was applauding when they turned up for 25% of the tie at most, the last sort of half an hour of 180 minutes? Come on. I mean, people talk about what Man United need and what 1 or 2 other clubs need. The punters would be running for the hills if somebody like him was in charge. Watching that dross.
Real Madrid were talking about sacking Ancelotti because they played the way they played in one game in the Champions League against PSG.
But
you're a Real Madrid fan, right? How did you enjoy watching? Did you enjoy watching that game?
And I enjoy any team that I
Did you enjoy what? It's a simple question.
Which game are you talking about?
Which game? PSG. When Ancelotti, they basically said, if you do that again, you're at the door.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Did you enjoy
and there
that?
are going to be those games. If you come through it with a win, though, that's what matters, isn't it?
Did you enjoy the game?
Doesn't matter if you enjoy it if you win.
Doesn't matter if you enjoy it.
What do you want? Do you want free-flowing football and then to lose 7-6?
Yeah. You know when you go to the movies, you pick the
Stevie,
you try and find a film with garbage.
She had Neil Warnock as manager.
Yeah, there you go. Say no more.
Listen, I beggars can't be choosers, and I'm saying that about myself. Nadim, the Atleti fans showed the other night how much they love their coach, though. What about the United fans? Couldn't they get behind a coach like Diego Simeone?
I wouldn't necessarily say a coach like Diego Simeone, but somebody who they feel sort of embodies what the football club is. I think that's what we're kind of missing about this. Like, basically, we're saying United want to have Fergie back when they had an identity and they could get right behind him because this is Fergie's Man United team. But I'll be honest with you, like Ten Hag might end up being that guy, but at this moment in time, I can't even picture who that would be, what their style of play would be like, or what they'd be like as a football club. Because to me, it just seems like from when Fergie left, they're just floating around, like they come close to winning something every so often and they perform well for short periods. And they could beat anybody in a particular game. But like, what are Manchester United right now? Well, they're a club that were once very successful. So if they can find a manager that can create something new, then great. But I think that one of the issues is that for lots of those people who support the team, I don't think they really want something new. I think they just want the old days back.
Nadim, I'm going to stick with you for the next one. Do you think City should buy Christopher Nkunku over Erling Haaland? He's much cheaper and has no fitness issues.
No fitness issues. That's just a bit harsh to say Haaland's just going to have tons of fitness issues. I think for City is, if they are to bring someone in new, I think it would have to be something which they don't already have. And that essentially is like a 6'4" Norwegian striker who's scored as many goals as he's played in games in the Bundesliga.
Very specific.
I think Nkunku's very... Yeah, I think Nkunku's obviously very good, but I believe there are similar players to him within that City lineup now. So you could sort of continue what they do have, but to have something different like that, I think it takes them potentially to another level, and if not another level, just a whole different sort of challenge for the opposition to play up against, because somebody like that, you know, he's not scoring goals by accident. So I don't think the two are essentially comparable for City's needs right now.
Okay, Craig, start, drop and bench these in their prime. Xavi, Iniesta and Modric.
Xavi. Oh my God. Who was better, Xavi or Iniesta? Both. Stevie, help me out here. Who are you having, Xavi or Iniesta?
Okay.
I actually couldn't tell you who was better.
So what does that change in your answer on who's better? Where does Modric come, depending on who's better there?
I'm putting Modric, I might be wrong, I'm putting him just slightly behind those two.
Yeah, I'm with
Just terrific player.
Yeah.
Just behind. So Modric has to get dropped. I'm going to say Xavi gets benched and I start Iniesta. That's what I'm just going.
Stevie?
Done.
The only answer I'll agree with Craig. I think unfortunately, as good as Modric is, he's behind the other two. But I've no idea which one is better. No idea.
You just close your eyes and go, yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
Just think of the careers they could have had under Diego Simeone. All that defending.
Yeah.
All that kicking.
Don't turn this on me. I'm just don't shoot the messenger. I'm just putting the questions to you
silky
guys.
passing, nutmegs, all those things. Who wants that?
They do.
Blood and guts and bruises on your legs and spitting at people and elbowing people. That's more fun.
They do. Have you got an opinion on this one?
No, I kind of agree with the guys, to be honest. Unfortunately, it feels like you have to drop Modric, which feels exceptionally harsh. But then for the other two, it's just a toss-up in terms of what type of football you like. And if you love somebody who's just going to dribble past you with about 5 outside of the foot turns, you got to go for Iniesta or whatever. But if you want like some of the best passing you've ever seen, then it's Xavi. So for me, I guess I'll say Iniesta, Xavi, and then Modric being dropped.
All right. Okay, last question. No, sorry. Penultimate question, and I'm very interested in this one because I wondered when I saw it the other day.
No, it's not. It's the second last question.
Don't start doing that to me. I'm not going to fall for it today.
Listen,
I'm not falling for it today.
Well, listen, it's not just you that sees the questions in advance. The amount of prep that goes in for this show, we know what's coming. Not.
All right.
Not.
I only get them here just before on the desk.
Oh, we'd
I
never
don't have
know.
time. All right. No, they never know. That's the truth. They don't know until they get asked them on the night. No. Stevie, your thoughts on Jamie Carragher naming you as the left back in his all-time Liverpool's best 11. Who was your favourite left back that played for Liverpool, though?
Cool.
So first of all, did you see his 11?
First of all, I've always said Carragher knows what he's talking about. I've always said that, regardless. Favourite left back. Wow.
I'm just surprised Carragher's seen him play.
Carragher was actually a kid. Carragher was actually a kid that used to come now and again when I was still there. He actually turned up in an Everton strip one night when they grabbed it off him and said, right, don't ever come back with that on your back again. Best left. Either Alan Kennedy or Alec Lindsay. Alec Lindsay had a lovely left peg. And Barney was just not right in the head and scored goals, and he could ping a ball 40 yards in behind to somebody's feet. So, Either Alan Kennedy or Alec Lindsay, I'll go with.
All right, last question now. Who can do the best Dan Thomas social media star / model imitation out of the three of you? I don't know if you saw yesterday's Extra Time or you've been perusing Instagram and seen that Dan Thomas has suddenly become a social media influencer and posted this picture and saying thank you for the shirt that he'd been sent probably for free.
Considering what you showed earlier, I guess I'm out the running for this, right?
Because yesterday I asked which is worse, this picture or your hairstyle.
I'd rather look like that any time than that head.
Can you do the pose?
The pose?
The pose that Dan's doing.
Is it?
What's happened to that man? Hey, what's happened to that? What's happened to that man?
I think he's in Milan on the catwalk.
I need to undo my tie and everything.
Has he had a vanity transplant or something? What the hell's going on? I mean, he's stuck at that.
On Sunday.
Is he in on Sunday? Is he? I'm not working with if he's wearing those glasses. Tell you that now. What's that? What's that all about? And by the way, he can't dress either. So somebody's obviously given him that. He can't dress.
No, somebody did give him it. That's why he put the post up.
I'm not on Instagram. It's reasons like that I'm glad I'm not on Instagram. To see absolute guff like that.
When did you do that, by the way?
Why?
When?
Oh, just this week, like yesterday.
Right, so why?
Because now he's an influencer.
What's that mean?
Gosh.
I'll tell you what he is.
No.
I can't say it.
All right, Nathan, would you care to attempt Dan's pose, please?
So to be honest, I've not got the same sort of lighting. As you can see, he's made sure the sun's coming down on his face. I wonder how many times he's taken this shot. You know what I mean? It's like just...
I wonder what filter it is.
So just stare into the camera, Dan, yeah.
So do you think he thought we wouldn't get a hold of that?
Well, he obviously isn't bothered. It's still there. Craig's given up on us.
Sad to see. Sad to see.
Craig, was that your impression of Dan?
No, I was leaning down to get some. I tell you what, if that's not signs of a midlife crisis, I'm not quite sure what is. There's definitely a I'm in my 40s now. I need to try and make myself feel a bit younger. Hang out with the groovy
as well, wouldn't he?
Hang out with the groovy gang, sort of still in my 20s mentality.
He'll be back on Sunday.
Guaranteed soon he'll be driving about the Connecticut area in a 2-seater convertible car with a roof down in winter. Guaranteed.
Well, he has to be able to defend himself, and we're giving him that chance on Sunday when he is back, and I'm sure he'll be delighted and ready for all of you.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.